Hi, good morning. My name is Raquel and welcome to my podcast. Thank you to all new and returning viewers. Today is Sunday the 16th of October and I'm back at my place after 2 weeks at my parents' place, or 2 episodes at my parents' place, and yeah, it's overcast today. It's been raining since Wednesday, I believe. Friday was nice weather though, but this weekend's been like grey and overcast and raining, so not great weather to take the dogs out for a walk. They have just been, because there's a bit of a dry patch at the moment, so I took advantage of that. Sits at the window looking at the birds flying by. I hope he doesn't jump at the window like he did last time. But if he does, and you hear a loud thud, you'll know what that is. Resting the Knitorama at the window. So, okay. Let's start with finished objects. I only have one to show you, and then I'll go on to whips. I have some stash enhancement to show you. Did a bit of shopping yesterday. I shouldn't have, but you know, it happens. So, okay, finished objects. I only have one pair of finished socks to show you guys this week. I was back at work this week, so less knitting time, and yeah, just it's tiring being at work all day, and then coming home I still have to feed the dogs, walk the dogs, feed myself. So yeah, I only managed to finish one pair of socks. I started these on Sunday and I finished them on Thursday when I went to the knit night. And then in the meantime, I also, last week there was Suvi put out a call for test knitters for her latest design. So I signed up for that and I got a spot in the test knit. So I'm between socks and a test knit right now. So without further ado, my finished pair of socks for this week. Like I said, only one. These weren't even on the needles last week. This is Mina Phillips' fourth pattern, so the fourth one from the first Beyond Vanilla Socks collection, and this was the Driftwood pattern, and the yarn is the Opal Sweet and Spicy 3 in the Kiwi colorway. And I'll show you the back. Again, they don't match up, but that doesn't bother me much at all. That's the front, that's the back. And I'm really happy with these. So now I have 4 finished pair for this month. There they are. So that's the first Beyond Vanilla collection. It's complete. And then, like I said, I finished these socks on Thursday when I was at knit night. And you know, you should take something simple to do at knit night, because usually while you're talking you'll make a mistake. And what happened was I was just about to Kitchener the toe when I looked back down, and I noticed I dropped a stitch. So I had to rip back the whole toe and a couple rows before the toe. But yeah, I finished them anyway at the knit night, and then I did bring yarn to start the 5th pair of socks, but I decided to do the swatch for the sweater instead. So I started that I did the swatch on Thursday evening, and then Friday when I came home from the office, which one do I start? Do I start the sweater? Do I start the socks? What do I start? So at lunchtime on Friday I redid the swatch because it wasn't, I did it with the recommended needle size, and it wasn't, I had too many stitches in the 10 centimeters, so I had to go up a needle size, and I already knew I was going to have to do that, because usually I have to do that. So I went up 2 needle sizes to get the gauge, and I'm pretty close now. Instead of having the 18 centimeters, 18 stitches, I have 17 and a half stitches, so that should work out okay. But yeah, like I said, I was deciding between starting the socks and starting the sweater. So what I did is I started the sweater and I did the first section of the sweater, which was just main increases. Dakota, stop that. She's like licking herself, and I know that if she starts, she won't stop, and she'll start biting her claw. Stop it, Dakota. Okay, so she's stopping. So what I did is I did the first section of the sweater, which I can show you while we're talking about whips anyway, right? I'll show you. And we have permission to show the sweater. Suvi said it wasn't a secret test net. It's just so, you know, and she posted a picture of it on Facebook. That's how I found out that she was calling for test netters. So I'll show a picture of the sweater first, of how it's gonna look, and then I'll show you mine. The sweater at the moment does not have a photo, does not have a name yet. So yeah, this is the sweater. That's how it's going to look. So it's going to be slightly longer in the back than in the front, and it has like these nice cables down the front. Depending on which size you're knitting, you're going to have more or less cables. So mine has one extra line of cables because I'm doing a large size. And I'm using the Drops Lima in the 0619 colorway. And I actually have a blanket made out of the same color, but it's made out of the Andes, so it's like way thicker than this. But this yarn is fantastic to work with. It's 65%, 65% wool, 35% alpaca, and you get 100 meters in a 50 ball. 50 gram ball. So Friday evening I did the back section, so up until joining at the front, and then I stopped that and I did started my socks. So this is my sweater so far, and it's on a small cable, so you can't really see much of it. And I just finished the second ball of yarn, and I'm literally just this far away from separating from the sleeves. So this is a sleeve section here between these two stitch markers. Sorry, over here. These two stitch markers, that's the sleeve, and my yarn just finished. So I'm going to undo these 5 stitches here before the stitch marker, and just attach a new yarn to here, and just do a round of, because I mean, I'm not going to attach a new yarn on the sleeve where I'm just going to separate it. So I'll just put a note, I'll write down that for picking up, or when picking up the stitches for the sleeve, I have to do 1 purl round before I start, you know, knitting in the round again, which will be fine. So yeah, that's my sweater so far, and I'll pick this up again later. And what I've decided is that I'm still doing the socks, still dedicated in completing minimum of 8 pairs of socks this month. So the 2 Beyond Vanilla collections by Mina Phillips. But in the meantime, I'll also work on the socks, on the sweater. So what I'm going to do is every time I finish a certain section of a sock, I'll pick up the sweater and do a bit on the sweater, and then I'll put that down and carry on with the sock. So Friday, after finishing the back section of the sweater, I picked up the skein of yarn I was going to use, which is this one, and this is a Shuffle Admiral R Druck, I think. I'll link it all in the show notes. So yeah, and actually I had a lot of ladies at the knit night saying, "Oh, you don't need that colorway. You don't need it. You can give it to me." And yeah, I mean, I didn't know how it was going to knit up, but I'm really pleased with how it's going to knit up. So I started on Friday. I cast on the sock on Friday while watching, and I even posted on Facebook, I was watching Silence of the Lambs, which is a movie I really like, and haven't seen it in a while, so that was on. I decided to watch it, and I cast on the sock, and while watching the movie, and then I watched another movie after, so I can't remember which. I managed to do the whole leg section. I did the heel, and then I did about halfway through the foot section of the first sock. And yesterday I finished that sock, so here's my first finished sock. And yesterday, because I then finished the foot, and actually this yarn, even though, sorry about this, so just moved. What was I going to say? Oh yeah, okay. Even though the sock yarn, it's the same thickness as all the opal yarns, it's knitting up a lot, and I'm using the same needles. I haven't changed needle size. I'm still using my 2.25 Addy lace needles. It's a bit larger than the other socks, so instead of, I didn't have to do as many rows in the foot section. I actually did the 70 rows that I usually do, and I put it on, and it was way too big. It was already covering like the whole toe, and I still needed to do the toes, so I ripped back five rows and did the toe, and it fits fine now. I don't know why it's knitting up, like, even in width it's slightly wider. Let's see if I can show. Slightly wider than the other socks. Not like maybe by 1 stitch or something. It's like minimal. It's just the rows that I've, in terms of rows, it's knitting up bigger. I don't know why. And I'm still knitting it tight and everything, so let's see if you can see it. But evenly. See, there's just a slight, I can't see it very well, but there is like a slight, maybe 2-3 stitches here, wider. And in terms of row, yeah, I had to do 5 rows less in the foot. That's okay. That's why I use my yellow line to count, to know how many rows I've done. At the top part, it shows how many repeats I've done, and here it's every 10 stitches. So here it's per repeat, and here it's every 10 stitches. And pretty much it's almost 10 stitches per color, including this like separation thing, color. So yeah, I'm really happy with these socks. This is the second one. I started last night after I finished the second ball in the sweater. I was like, no, now I'm going to cast on my socks, and I did just up to the ribbing. And this morning I just did these 2 repeats before podcasting. So I'm going to finish those today. Maybe what I'll do is, while I'm editing the podcast, I'll work on these. And these are the first, I didn't even mention that, did I? So the first pattern of Mina's Beyond Vanilla collection number 2, and that's Meadow. So this is the 5th one in a collection. And I'm just going to move some things around, sorry, so I can create more space. And I've already selected yarn for the next ones. Sorry, I'm moving stuff around just so that soot doesn't get to it. Okay, so the next ones, because I've been doing all these colorful socks, I thought I'd tone it down a bit. So the next one's going to be in Drops Fable long print in 602 colorway. And I know that there's a name for this, but I'll put it in the show notes because I can't remember. So it's going to be, and I have 2 balls of this, so 1 ball per sock. And I'll have 20 left over. I know. From experience, I know. Yeah, so this is going to be the next one. And then I have this one for number 7. and this is again like a Fable print and 162 colorway. And then the last, or the 8th pair of sock number 8 in the collection is going to be Opal again, Moments of Rebellion. And I know it's similar, but they're different. This one's more black, this one's more gray. But we'll see. After I've knit up this one, if it's too similar to this one, I might change the ball for this one. I have some more of the Drops Fable. Or I might just choose a completely plain color. So, that's me babbling on for 15 minutes about a whole bunch of stuff. Okay, so, we're at the point, while we're still on the socks, let's show prizes. Last week I showed you, and sorry about the noise, last week I showed you these two little pouches, like they're sewing pouches, but you know, you can use them for notions and stuff like that. Put your scissors in here, you know, put stitch markers in here, some loose notions in here. So I showed you these two last week, and I said I had one, and if you didn't like this one, you could choose. So here's mine, so you have an idea. It's exactly the same. Yeah, and inside it's exactly the same. I'll show you. So I'm going to put a picture up of the other two, and I'll add this one too. There's only going to be two, so it's like this. The winners, for when I draw the winners at the end of the month, or on the 1st of November, when I draw the winners, I'll leave it up to them which one they want. These are the two that I ordered for the prize draw, but if you prefer this one, that's okay. So yeah, I'm gonna put the I have to take some decent photos, and I'll start putting them up on the finished object thread, so you can see the prizes that are available. So far I have these two prizes, and I received this week from Donna Maria, who's also hosting, Rosario, who's the person behind the Donna Maria yarn. She kindly donated 2 sock blanks for the prize draw. I still have to sew up my project bags and make a couple of stitch markers, but I'm going to do that next weekend when, in principle, the dogs are at my parents' place, so I have a bit more time to sit and focus on something, because with the dogs, they want to go out every so often, and if I'm like into something, then I'll have to stop halfway through, and yeah, so I'm going to focus on sewing next week. But yeah, Zadi sent me 2 sock blanks for you guys, and I'll open up mine to show you, but these are the 2 available. They're similar except for this one, so this one's just like an orangey, it's showing up way yellow, but it's more orange and a brown. And then this one has like the brown, and again it's more orangey than yellow, and then like this purple. And I'll link to her blog where she shows how this knits up. So these 2 are also for prizes, and then with that came the sock club that I ordered from her and from Filomena, because Zadi and Filomena got together and decided to, oh, did I mention I'm wearing my Hint of Summer sweater? Sorry about the noise, I'm going to stand up now. See? Finished. I already showed it finished, and it fits perfectly, and it's nice and warm because it's like 55% wool and 45% cotton, so it's excellent for this time of year where the weather is not super hot and not cold yet. So I've been wearing it. I wore it this week, and it's really nice, perfect for this kind of weather. So anyway, right, with the sock blanks came the yarn I ordered for the sock club. because Rosario and Filomena got together and decided, as we were going to be doing this sock knit along, they were going to do a sock club. And there were two options. I got both options, and the sock club sold out in half an hour. They only have limited spots, obviously, because both of them, have a life out of dying. And so they don't necessarily have a lot of time to die, so they always have a limited number of spots. I was one of the lucky ones that got a spot, and I decided to go for both options. Option one was two skeins. So this one, Donna Maria, and it's on her Puga sock base, which is 75% wool, 25% nylon, and it's self-striping. Just a small. I love these colors. These are totally my colors, the blues, the greens, just gorgeous colors. So I'm really happy with the skein. Then Filomena dyed up this one for me. And again, I love these colors, the blues, and then the orange, like the rust colors, these pinks here. It's showing up gray, but it's more mauve, more pink colors. Gorgeous colors again. And to tell you the truth, I don't know if I'm going to use these for socks. I should, but I don't know. They're going to go in my stash, and I'll decide what to do with them later. This one might actually be. I've always wanted to do a sock head hat. I've never got around to it. Maybe this one. We'll see. Anyway, so the second option was a sock blank by Donna Maria, or by Rosario, and 5 minis by Filomena. I'm not going to take the minis out of the plastic, because otherwise I'm going to have a cat playing with them. So there's going to be some noise, because they are in plastic. But there you go, 5 minis, and you can see the colors, and it's roughly 20 grams, 80 meters per skein, per little ball, and it's 75 superwash and 25 nylon, and it's just, Filomena nailed it. I mean, her colorways are always fantastic. I've used a lot of her yarns and a lot of my shawls, so, and I will take them out and take some proper photos, and I'll post about them in my blog. And then I got the sock blank from Donna Maria, and she calls it Manta, and she explains here on the back how to use it. So I'm going to open up so you can see what it looks like and explain how you use it. Okay, so here's the sock blank. So, see, here's the sock blank. And she makes these with the yarn held double on a little knitting machine. And so this is the end. This is the end, and this is the beginning. So here's where you start. You're going to take the yarn from here. This is just some waste yarn by the looks of it. Is it? Yeah, this is just some waste yarn. You're going to just pull this off, all the white, and then by the time you get to the brown, there's going to be 2 strands of yarn. I'm not going to pull it all out because I'm not going to start it just yet. So there's going to be 2 strands of yarn, and then you knit them 2 at a time. So this section up the brown should be enough for the ribbing, and then this section here is going to make it striping, and then here it turns around, and the section here should be for the foot. So I've seen how she knit up a pair that she dyed from a blank like this in brown and blues, and it looks amazing. So I'm looking forward to it. This will definitely be a pair of socks. I don't know if it's gonna be for if I'm gonna manage to make one for the knit along still, but we'll see. So no, he's now going at the hey, no. Anything, you know, little strings dangling, and he's up for it. Let me put this back. Just leave it here. Put it back later. So then, yesterday, I did some shopping, like I said. I had to take my car for a, you know, the yearly checkup kind of thing. And it's an old car. It's 48 years old to be exact. It's a blue, it's a Volkswagen Beetle. Used to belong to my granddad, and now it's mine. I've loved it since I was a kid. Also because in Holland, where when I was living as a kid, they showed a lot of you know, the old Disney movies, the classics, I suppose you call them. And of course, Herbie was one of them. And so, you know, the bug reminds me of Herbie. So I love the little car. So I took that one out I need to take it for a bit of a drive. I have it, yeah, the automobile club here in Portugal, I have it registered as a classic, so it's not an everyday car. I can't drive it every day, but I do need to drive it, also because, you know, the battery needs charging every now and then. So, but this year, despite the lovely summer we had, I didn't take it out that much, so I have to start driving it more. I don't tend to drive it too much in the winter because of the rain, and I don't want it, the wipers don't work too great, and I need to find some wipers, and because it's a classic, I can't just get any, you know, any type of wipers. I need to find some that are suitable for things, because I can't, you know, be changing too many things to it. I'll see if I can add some photos at the end, if I can find some. I know I have some photos, and you guys can see it. Like, this car was completely refurbished, renovated completely, because by the time I got my hands on it, my granddad hadn't been driving it for a long time, and yeah, it was just standing still in the garage, so it didn't work anymore, and it needed some fixing, and I didn't like the original color, which is like a beige, and I wanted it blue, so yeah. But yeah, so I took the car out, went to get it for the yearly checkup thing, to make it roadworthy, to make sure that's roadworthy. So I can drive it, and as per usual, this car attracts a lot of attention. I don't know if it's because, you know, it's an old car and they see a woman driving it. I don't know what it is. All I know is that it attracts a lot of attention. The guy who was doing the checkups that they need to do. Sorry, late night. I was so busy knitting, I didn't notice the time, and it was like close to, what was it, 1 o'clock or something when I went to it. Anyway, the guy that took the car, he when he finally, because the first part of the whole thing, I'm in the car and I'm doing someone in the hallway. Anyway, so the first part, I'm in the car and, you know, doing like showing the just doing stuff, and then the second part of the whole thing, he's in the car. So when he got in the car, first thing he does is honk the horn, and he just honked the horn the whole time, and it's just, yeah, like I said, it attracts a lot of attention, and even when I park it at the office, when I go to the office, you like just have everyone wandering around the car looking at this car. Okay, so I will definitely try to add some photos in at the end. Anyway, after taking it to the for the inspection, I went to the shopping mall, which is right here, close to me, because I'd been watching Nana's podcast, Monstera, last week, and she showed something on her podcast that I said, "Ooh, I'm gonna have to check my local store. It's a chain store, Tiger, if they have it, because I want one." And that is a yarn bowl. And like Nana said, you know, it's not, maybe not something I'll use a lot, but it's just fun to have on the table and put stuff in. But you see a lot of them online and everything, and they're super expensive, and then with shipping, makes it even more expensive. And when she said it was a reasonably priced at Tiger, I was like, okay, I'm gonna check it out and see what that is. And I agree, it's reasonably priced, and I bought one. And here's my yarn bowl. And of course I can just, go in the store and just get this. I had to walk around and see what else they had. And because now it's the winter season, or their autumn winter season, they now have wool again. Most of it is acrylic, but they did again have the sock yarn it came in a pack, so you buy 2 at a time. And I'm going to check out one of the other stores in another mall close by to see if they have different colors, because they only had this color at my local one here across the street. And yeah, I basically live across the street from the shopping mall. Not really, it's like a 10-minute walk, but it's close enough. So and I'm pointing in that direction because that's where it is. So this is how it's been since I got home yesterday. And then they had a whole bunch of other stuff for really cheap prices. So I got these cute ribbons, and there's plastic around it, so I don't know how good you're going to be seeing it, but it says homemade with love. And this is like, what does it say here? It's a 1 centimeter by 3 meters, so it's like 3 meters on here. And this was like only €1 or something. So I got a couple of those. And then there was another one that says, this took me hours to make. So I'm going to be using these ribbons and Sid has now found the plastic, and he's playing with it because he loves the plastic bags. You want to come up, Dakota? Can I say hi? Come on in. Yeah, and this episode is going to be slightly longer than last week. Last week I noticed when I uploaded it was like only like less than 15 minutes, so this one's going to be slightly longer. Sorry about that. Here's Dakota. And Sid's trying to lie down on the plastic. Don't ask me why he does this. I have my patterns in plastic sleeves, and that's where he lies on. He has lots of blankets and pillows and stuff to lie on, but he goes for the plastic. Weird cat. Okay, bye-bye, Dakota. Anyway, I was saying other stuff I got at Tiger. Like I said, this is all cheap stuff in their in the crafty section. And I also bought some fabric, but I didn't bring that here to show. But this is a pack of 5. It's actually attached. So, and again, it's 3 meters per ribbon, and it looks like it's, let's see, oh no, it's polyester, but that's okay. I can use these on project bags or to wrap presents up with. So, and a couple of buttons. Can resist these, they're too cute. And then they had a whole bunch of washi tape. So I'm going to show you. I already had some, but I saw these and I can resist these. They actually had a whole bunch of Halloween stuff, but I didn't particularly like the other stuff that they had, but these I had to get. So they're monsters on the top one, and then pumpkins, sorry, and then little ghosts. And then they had the other ones, which were these. These are really thin ones, like so every 2 is one of these. And I already had some other ones yeah, I use these in my notebook for the episode, and that was jumping on the table, so that's why the camera kind of moved. And then they also had, and I've made one of these before. Sorry. But so I've like I said, I've made one of these before, and I just haven't showed the finished thing to you guys because I'm planning on hanging some of these up. I'm sorry, guys. Suddenly my throat is very dry. I don't know why. So I saw these. They had some different ones. They had another one I didn't like, so I didn't buy it. So this one, a cactus, and then just some plain one. And I have some of these hoops lying around as well. So I might just get some of my fabric that I have as well and make some of my own. But I thought these were cute to hang up on the thing. And at the moment, I'm storing all of this here in the basket I made. So for now, this is the use of my basket. And so it's looking at me like he's gonna attack something again. So that's that. He's up to no good at the moment, so I'm gonna have to. What do you want, Sid? Come here. Come on. Stay away from the yarn. No. Did I say that when I showed you the basket a couple weeks ago when I made this, the first thing I did, like I put it on the table, first thing this little guy did was try to fit into it. He's too big to fit in it. And now every time I put it on the table, like that's what he was going for. He tries to get into it. It's hilarious. He's actually been pretty good with the yarn and stuff. Obviously, if it's dangling in front of his face, he's gonna go for it. But I'll let him go because he wants to go. He's been coming up to me. I guess he's maturing. He's like 5 months old now. He comes up to me and wants to cuddle. He wants to lay on my lap. I did film some. I think it's on my phone, so the video quality is not that great. I'm gonna see if I can get it off the phone and see what yeah. I'm not even gonna bother because I know the video quality on this phone is really crap. But I think I filmed a bit on the computer of him and Dakota playing, and it's quite hilarious because Dakota is so gentle when playing with Soot or with Rusty or with the other dogs, and the other dogs are always so. I know from like Rusty's is a bit of a. He's really rough. He plays like really rough, and Soot is the same way. He goes claws out and everything. And while Dakota like super gentle, but if the video is decent enough, I'll add it at the end. If not, I'll have to try to catch it some other time. And I think that's it. I think I showed you everything. I'm just now going to take some photos, edit the photos and edit the podcast. Yeah, you guys will be seeing this later. Enjoy your week. Enjoy the rest of your Sunday. And I'll be back next. Sorry, the Soot's about to jump out the window again. Anyway, bye. Thank you for watching, and I'll see you guys next week. Bye.